Welcome back to the 3 Points. This is your boy Mike 3P. And obviously, a couple of days ago, we had the NBA draft. You know, the draft where kids' careers make or break. But to be fair, most of them don't really stay at the same team. Only 2 players since 2010 have been at the same ball club that's drafted them. And I want you in the comments to let me know who those 2 players are. But before we get into this, do make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Yes, the number 1 pick in the draft, deservedly so, some could say, because of the style of play, he's fit with the team that picked him, is Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, the person I would compare him to is somebody that actually also used to play for the Minnesota Timberwolves, in Zach LaVine. Anthony Edwards, also known as the Ant-Man, is an explosive leaper, someone who can jump out of the gym. And whilst he's not a great defender, he has the tools to become a really great one, especially due to his physique and frame. He can probably guard 1 through to 3. Zach LaVine and Edwards' attacks are fueled by shot creation and perimeter shot making. Both love their free balls and pull-ups, and once they catch fire, both have the ability to draw jumpers in bunches. Edwards only shot 29% from 3. And whilst that's not really the greatest number in the world, he did shoot 254 threes throughout his college career. I mean, that is someone that has confidence in his jumper. Like Zach LaVine, obviously, they're not the greatest shooter, but they have confidence in their jump shot. So for Anthony Edwards, my number 1 comparison for him is Zach LaVine. The number 2 pick in the draft is James Wiseman, who went to the Golden State Warriors. And the person I would compare him to is a bigger Chris Bosh. He's quick, athletic, a big-time rebounder. And during his college career and the games we saw at Memphis, well, the little games, Wiseman's been able to dominate due to his combination of speed, strength, and guard-like skills. If he's able to fulfill all those areas to the max, he might become a truly transcendent player on both sides of the floor. 10 years ago, he would have been maybe a perfect candidate to become a number 1 pick easily. But with the game stretching the way it is now, he would like to look at someone like Miles Turner in terms of developing his perimeter shot, which at Golden State, no doubt they'll tell him to do that. You know what I mean? But my comparison for him is Chris Bosh. They play the same way. And for me, after watching countless of videos to do this video, that is the one person I would compare him to. At number 3 in the draft is Lamelo Ball. In normal years, a transcendent-like player like Lamelo would have been number 1 in this draft. However, his career is not the most orthodox. Understanding Lamelo Ball has truly star potential. He has obviously the most star potential of anyone in this draft, and I think most of the players would agree. Anyone that's watched basketball over the last, few years, 3, 4, 5 years, knows about Lamelo Ball, knows about the Ball family, and weirdly, LeVar Ball. His dad has said on numerous occasions that his younger son's going to be the best player, and whilst Lonzo Ball still has a high ceiling for me, it is quite clear that Lamelo Ball has even higher ceiling. He's the first person in this video that we're doing. He's the only person I couldn't compare to just one player, mainly because you don't see a lot of 6-7 point guards roaming around. But the 2 players I compare him to is Penny Hardaway and Jason Kidd. During the player draft, when I compare them to a Hall of Famer like these 2 players, I'm not saying that Lamelo or any of the players in this draft are going to have the same career. I'm not predicting how many MVPs they're going to win, how many All-Star appearances they're going to make. All I'm doing is giving you guys an indication of how this player plays like. I'm not saying he's going to become this player. I'm just saying how he plays like. Now, the reason why I compared him to Jason Kidd is because Jason Kidd was a poor 3-point shooter when he came into the league. He shot 28%. And whilst Lamelo shoots only 25%, you can actually see that his form is a bit unorthodox. He kind of pushes it with 2 hands and heaves it in. Now, if you look at the range where he shoots it from and the amount of threes that he takes, it's quite understandable why his 3-point percentage is so low. But nonetheless, he's in transition. He's just as good as Penny Hardaway. He's 6'7". He has an eye for a pass like these two. I think he's probably the most gifted passer in this thing and in this draft. And don't be surprised to see some Hollywood type passes, especially in transition, that will make you go, wow. I just read that Charlotte Hornets had the most ticket inquiries since the draft. And that really goes to show you about Lamelo Ball's ascension to stardom. I think he's got a great touch. He's got a great feel for passing. And the minute he steps into the league, he will have one of the best floaters in the game. But that withstanding, Lamelo Ball, I had to compare him to Penny Hardaway and Jason Kidd. Number 4 on the list is Patrick Williams. He went to the Bulls. He did not start one game in college, but regardless, at 6'8", the Bulls have their man that plays small forward. Patrick Williams is the youngest player in this draft, and he's probably got as much upside as any forward in this draft. His defense is truly special. He's big, strong, athletic. And the player that I compared him to is OG Anunoby. He is someone that takes on the opposition's best wings and best forwards and tries to nullify them as much as they possibly can. And I feel like that's what Patrick Williams' role is going to be at the Cavs. I think he will develop a decent intermediary game or decent mid-range game, maybe stretching out to the 3. And the reason why I think we'll get a lot of minutes at the Cavs is they can't defend anybody. I reckon I can get a few buckets on the Cavs. So with that said, I think with his defensive tenacity, he will bring the Cavs something a problem. Just like OG Anunoby did his first few years in the league. Patrick Williams is one of the youngest players in the draft, and although he's the youngest, he probably has the most upside of any forward in the league. He's a big, strong, athletic player who, to be honest, the Bulls really need. His raw talent, versatile defense, and powerful transition game was enough for the Bulls to take him at number 4. The player comparison I've got for him is Paul Millsap, who, like Patrick, is a standout defender, doesn't really need the ball in his hands, does all the dirty work, but is a more than capable ISO scorer. I look at Patrick, the clips I've seen of Patrick and Millsap, they're pretty much similar players, very, very similar players in that aspect. And now, at number 5, I've got Isaac Okoro. The comparison I have for Isaac Okoro is OG Anunoby. His defensive intensity and ability is truly special. He can guard just about every position on the court, and he's also a great help defender who can help his man and recover just in time. Just like Anunoby, I feel like Okoro will be asked to guard the opposition's best wing, best forward, and that's going to get him a lot of minutes playing for the Cavs. Same as Anunoby at Toronto. He's an extra body who's a really good defender who will make a few defensive teams of the year in the future. But my player comp for him is Anunoby. Isaac Okoro, watch out. I mean, Cavs, finally you have someone that can defend. I mean, it's needed, to be fair. They're building something over there, hopefully. And number 6, Yakhouba Kokonkwo went to the Hawks. See, now in his one season at USC, Kokonkwo was an overpowering force on the court. He uses his quick twitch power to blow by and go through players, especially in the lane, and explode to the rim. This guy he's a jumping machine. He's a real bouncer. He's big, strong, athletic, to be honest, like most of the players in the draft. But he can really bang in the paint and hold his ground. I mean, he plays like a man amongst boys at USC. He actually played with Lamelo Ball, who went at number 3 in this draft. So Chino Hills, I don't know what they're putting the water over there, but they're doing something. He's an excellent shot blocker. He's good, athletic, with good instincts and intelligent defensive play, and knows how to avoid fouls and how to keep the ball in play once it gets sorted out in terms of diving onto the floor. And he does a lot of good dirty work. My comparison for him is Bam Adebayo. They have the same height. They're really great around the rim. The difference between, obviously, Bam's ability to pass. I think he averages 5 assists this season, which is quite high for a centre. But yeah, my player comp for him is Bam Adebayo. Onyeka, I'm going to say Onyeka because I can't really say his surname like that. Onyeka will look to improve his offensive end in terms of getting into the lane, drawing double team, and passing it to wide open shooters. But if he does that, I mean, him and Bam and Adebayo, you won't be able to split them apart.